We are not your average family. My name is Rachel. You know me as Yoga Girl. This is my husband, Dennis, and this little ray of sunshine is our baby girl, Lea Luna. We live in the Caribbean island of Aruba. Welcome to our channel.
To be honest, I make this banana bread recipe all of the working time. I never use measurements at all. I have, however, blogged this recipe once, so I am telling you the recipe according to the measurements of my blog. Normally, I kind of wing it a little bit, but I'm gonna try to be super specific because I know how annoying it is to look up a recipe and then it's like intuitive cooking. Fuck that. So, today, for this banana bread recipe, of course, the most crucial part of this recipe are the bananas. The riper, the better. Someone just asked me the other day, isn't there such a thing as overripe bananas? No, they don't get overripe. They don't go bad. They just get more delicious and brown, which is gross. But in banana bread, it's really good. So of course, bananas, we're gonna use four and a half. I'm gonna go with 4. We're gonna use some oat flour and spelt flour. You can substitute this for anything. We're gonna have some coconut sugar. You can substitute that for regular white sugar or brown sugar, whatever you want. Some coconut oil. We have, for the top of the banana bread, cacao nibs and walnuts. Totally optional. You can chop up some almonds, just it looks nice if it has a little something on top. We have some chia seeds inside, baking soda, baking powder, and chocolate chips. Most important part. Okay, so the interesting thing about this recipe is you're gonna need 2 bowls. You wanna take all of your wet ingredients in one, so you can mash the bananas up really well with the oil and with the maple syrup, and then all your dry ingredients like your flours and everything is gonna go in the other bowl, and then you put them together. I don't know why, but it just makes the bread more moist. It just makes it more delicious. Have you ever had banana bread and kind of bits of flour fall out of it? Mixing it like that, I'm sure there's science to it, probably how it rises. I don't know fucking shit about science, but it works better that way. So you can begin by mashing your bananas. We're gonna take 4 of them. I'm gonna leave that one. I feel sad leaving that one. You think he feels left out? Come here, banana. And as I said, so the riper the better. There might be a moment where a banana gets too ripe. I don't know when that moment is. I have used absolutely black bananas to make banana bread, and I think that the darker they are, the more delicious, juicy, and sweet your banana bread recipe is. Also, the more ripe your bananas, the less sugar you have to use. So if you have super sweet and ripe bananas, you can actually skip the sugar or the maple syrup altogether. With our bananas, we're gonna use 1/3 cup of coconut oil. Don't use any other oil. It's coconut or bust. I forgot to add vanilla as part of this recipe as well. Magic vanilla delivery. We're gonna use a teaspoon of vanilla for this recipe. Teaspoon of vanilla in there. 1/4 cup maple syrup. Here's an important part. You want to make sure that you mash your bananas with a potato masher. It's doable with a fork, but use a potato masher. It's way more fun. All right, once you've mashed up your banana with your oil, your vanilla, and your maple syrup, it's gonna look a little something like this, and then you put it aside. So moving on to our dry ingredients. For the flour, I'm gonna go for spelt just because we just bought spelt flour. We have it at the house. As I said, you can use like regular white flour or any flour that floats your boat. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix it with a little bit of oat flour. I'm on this kind of oat flour kick right now. So about 1 cup and 3/4 of a cup. 1 3/4 of a cup. Is that how you say it? 1 cup of spelt flour. 3/4 of a cup-ish of oats. I've never tried this combination before exactly. We're gonna see how that works out. With that, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda, I got baking soda. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of baking powder and salt. I forgot to say salt. Come on. I forgot about the salt. Salt is a crucial ingredient in fucking everything. 1/2 teaspoon of that. Okie dokie, we're gonna add a tablespoon of chia seeds. So about this sugar, I actually don't know how much I should be using. I felt like my bananas were pretty sweet already. Not more than a quarter cup, maybe half of a quarter cup. What would that be? An eighth of a cup. I have huge respect for people that do cooking shows because this is so messy and it's so hard to do with a smile on your face, like everything is perfect and great. Sometimes I get really frustrating when I cook and when I bake because I can't find anything. Okay, all your dry ingredients, you mix them together. I like to use a fork for this, it's pretty easy. The point of this is to evenly distribute the baking soda and the baking powder with all of the flour. Now comes the fun part. You're gonna take your dry ingredients and fold them into your wet ingredients little bits at a time. I don't know why I said here comes the fun part. There's nothing particularly fun about this. The fun part about baking is eating it. Oh, this is like a workout. All right, so once you don't see any bits of flour left in your bowl, that means it's time to drop in the chocolate chips. And these are carob chips, which are the healthier version. Hello. I had a scissor here, but it disappeared. So for the chocolate chips, I don't know how much you're gonna use. You're gonna sprinkle that in there, maybe a third of a cup. If you're really into chocolate chips like I am, maybe half a cup, until it kind of looks good in the batter. I'm asking if you want some. You know what professional baking people do? They have all their shit on the counter that they need before they start cooking. I just got that now. Okay, before you put all of your amazing stuff into your pan, take a little bit of paper towel or a kitchen towel or whatever, anything clean. Pour a little bit of coconut oil into your pan and all over your hand and grease the whole pan. So this is a loaf pan, like a standard size. You don't have to make your banana bread a loaf. It's kind of nice if it's a loaf so you can slice it and put some butter on it if you want. Vegan butter. This thing in Swedish is called a slickepott. I have no idea how to translate that. It basically means the thing you want to lick, which is super true because all the awesome stuff ends up on this thing. So scoop all of that out there. And then make sure it's all even. Okay, final step. You're gonna grab your walnuts, a handful of walnuts, chop them up so you can use them for decoration together with your cacao nibs. Where are my knives? I forgot to wash the knives. This whole damn video is gonna be me walking back and forth looking for stuff, doing dishes. Okay, now I have my knife. Shouldn't be waving this around. So just roughly chop up your almonds. I've tried this banana bread. We make it really often. I think it's because we tend to forget when we have bananas in the fridge and they go brown and I'm like, oh shit! I don't like to throw food away, so I make banana bread instead of throwing bananas away. But I tried it with almonds on top, with cacao nibs are good because they give a little bit of extra, like a little bit of that bitter cacao texture and cacao flavor. This banana bread shouldn't be too sweet, at least I hope it won't be. And then you sprinkle that on top. That's it. And now like a tablespoon of cacao nibs. And that's it. We're gonna put this baby in the oven for about 45 to 55 minutes. My oven sucks. It's the shittiest oven of all time. So it tends to burn things from the bottom and I have to like ship things around halfway. For me, this banana bread is done in about 50 minutes, like 49 minutes. But you should check on yours in 45 minutes or so. Put your oven on 350. That's the first thing you're supposed to say before you do all of this. Put your oven on 350. Cool. Now, in the oven it goes. God damn it. And don't forget to put an alarm on your phone so you don't burn your banana bread. I burn about 5 out of 10 things that go into my oven. I'll put the timer on 45. It's kind of like you're gonna know when your banana bread starts to get ready because your kitchen is gonna smell really, really nice. 45 minutes. damn it! Ah! The baby's crying. What the fuck? I need a fork. Okay, this is done. How you know when it's done? If you poke it with a fork, it kind of bounces back pretty slowly. And if you put the fork in the middle, it should come out clean, which I just realized mine didn't do. I'm gonna call it as ready. Cover that with a towel and put some clothes on. You know what might cheer you up? You want some banana bread? Let's look at the banana bread. Do you want to see? What is that? Banana bread. Should we see if we can get it out? Oh, you have to scrape the sides. And of course you're supposed to... Get that. What? Wow. Whoa. So this needs to rest for at least 20 minutes, but we took it out at the perfect time. Super hot, but do you want to try some? Can you blow off? You want the other one? This is the better one?